For the next few days, you can get 50% off a subscription to The Athletic. See the link in the description.
Hello, welcome back to Tifo IRL. I am JJ Bull, and we're going to look at why Romelu Lukaku is signed for Chelsea again, and why they decided to buy him, because they used to have him back in the day. But yes, why they spent so much money on a striker they used to have. Aren't they quite good already? They won the Champions League. Can they really get better? That's what we're going to look at. So why are Chelsea buying Lukaku? Like we said, they've already won the Champions League, so you think they're quite good, right? They've also won, well, not won the Premier League, but they were good in the Premier League, and you kind of think, where do they really improve? What they need to improve is scoring goals. That's the one thing. They're great defensively, they do not score enough goals. Since Thomas Tuchel took charge in January of last season, Chelsea have scored 25 goals. Which doesn't really mean anything, but if you consider that in that same time period, Newcastle scored more. It's not great. And for context, Man City scored 52 goals. So Chelsea scored 25, Newcastle 28, way at the top, Manchester City on 52. That's an enormous gulf that Chelsea need to basically close down in order to achieve their goals. Not unintentional pun. Other thing they have is that they missed a lot of chances last season. So they missed 32 big chances, what Opta calls a big chance. Liverpool missed more than them, the only team that did more. But basically they are creating chances and they are not taking them. And so it's not they're not creating chances, it is that they are missing them. So their chance conversion is poor, and that's a real problem. The defensive record is amazing. That's one of the things that they're really, really good at. But again, looking at how many goals they're scored, their top goal scorer last season was Jorginho. He's a midfielder. This guy, he plays as a 6. And this is the thing, so their top goal scorer was Jorginho on 7, mostly penalties. Then you get Mason Mount on 6 goals, Tammy Abraham on 6. He's not probably going to be even in the squad if they can move him on. Timo Werner on 6 and Kai Havertz on 4. It's not ideal. They don't have a top goal scorer. It's a decent distribution of goals scored amongst the team, but they need someone who's really going to finish those chances, and this is the big problem. So for example, Timo Werner's expected goals last season was 18.5. So a combined XG from Champions League and Premier League, 18.5, he should have scored roughly. But he actually scored 10. That is a bad mismatch. He should have scored many more. Romelu Lukaku, who, if we say Timo Werner is a very good striker, Lukaku is an elite level striker. And Lukaku's XG from Serie A and Champions League combined last season was 25.8, and he scored 28. So not only is he getting more chances to score, sure enough Inter Milan won the league, but Chelsea were decent as well. He's getting a lot of chances to score, more than Timo Werner. He's also scoring above his expected goals, which is what elite strikers do. And he's not missing those chances. So what Chelsea are going to do is to close the gap on the people above them in the Premier League, is to get more goals. And they do that by signing a better player than Timo Werner. So that's probably what they're going to do. And now we should look at where Lukaku will play for Chelsea and what difference that might make tactically to how they go forward. So Chelsea under Tuchel always play a 3-4-3. I'm going to say always. What I mean is they most often play a 3-4-3. They occasionally change that to being something like a 3-4-1-2, so they'll have 2 strikers. I like this, and it's normally been Timo Werner partnered with Kai Havertz. Mount plays as a 10 if this is what happens. But their front 3 has changed quite a bit over the season. So Havertz is played, said to be like a false 9, as though he drops deep to link play, which he does, but he's just playing like a 9 really. Werner is meant to be a 9, and he likes to play off the shoulder of the last man. He tends to be better playing in a forward 2. That's where he's very good in the club he played for before he moved to Chelsea, part of a forward 2. And he likes to make these runs in behind the last man to get onto chances, which he then misses, which is not good. Now, they can play with Mount on the right, they can play Mount on the left, they can play Havertz on the right if they want as well, they can play Mount through here and let Werner play. But like I said before, they don't have a focal point for their attacks who's consistently hitting the goal numbers that they need. Now, some of you may remember Lukaku from his time at Manchester United and think, well, how come, I mean, he didn't seem to be great there, but his goal scoring record was always good, and he's developed as a player. His movement off the ball is exceptional. I would say elite level movement, but also he finishes his chances very well. But because he looks like a big lad, people think he's a target man, and he is not. He is far more like someone like Timo Werner, actually. He's really quick. I think he posted, it might have been at Belgium or Inter, somewhere he posted sprint speeds and training, and he's one of the second fastest in his club. So basically, you can get rid of Werner and put in Lukaku here straight away. And then this is exactly how Chelsea might play. In pre-season, they've played Ziyech quite a bit. Have I got him here? Yeah, play him here. So it can look like this with Lukaku playing as a 9 off of them. You have Mount and Ziyech effectively playing as two 10s, and you've got your wing back. And Chelsea are quite well stocked here. They can play Reece James if they want, or they can be more aggressive and play Hudson-Odoi as a wing back, or Pulisic, done that in pre-season as well. But what you get from Lukaku, what we saw from him at Manchester United often, was that they would look for this early ball from someone like a defender, say the equivalent of, I don't know, Rudiger or Azpilicueta, would look for a high early ball into him, expect him to take it down and lay it off. That's not his game. Lukaku himself has said what he wants to do is be a little bit deeper and be able to face the goal and run. So although he can, if he's got his back to a defender, one of the things he's best at is rolling him. If the defender gets really tight, he's able to kind of give him a bit of a, he basically is in control of the situation, can turn them, spin, get in behind. But it's not his game. He wants to run at players. And at Inter Milan, they've been quite counter-attacky. It's not a phrase, but we're going to go with it. Playing in a forward 2. Another thing Lukaku said he likes is when he has players around him making runs and be able to allow him to make combinations. So rather than getting the ball early and having to lay it off, Lukaku can be part of earlier build-up play, but also when he gets the ball in these positions here, he'll have to lay it off to Ziyech and then be able to make a run in behind. So he's making more short passes so his link-up play is basically improved because he's making more short passes and he's using the way he should have. He's also got a striker alongside him in Lautaro Martinez at Inter, who is very aggressive out of possession, really busy, and will do a lot of the defensive work. Lukaku's quite, not quiet out of possession, but he lets Martinez do all the pressing. He just sort of stays where he needs to go and goes from there. Also, Lukaku's left-footed, and you see him at Belgium a lot, is that he likes to play, so we'll see his heat map. I'm going to draw a really bad heat map now with my lovely pencil. So Lukaku will normally be in these sorts of positions here, but his heat map will often see him in these sorts of areas as well, sort of the right channel. So when you're playing in a 3-5-2 like Inter have, it makes sense you'd end up in these situations because two strikers, if you're playing, let's make it a bit more seeable. Two strikers, Mount and Lukaku, 10 in here. It means you're going to be split here in kind of the two half spaces. This bit here. And then you've got your central space in the middle and your wing space either side. When you're playing a 3-5-2, the strikers can move into these channels into the half spaces. So you have Mount and Lukaku's like that. I know Mount's not a striker, but that's what they can do. And then you have a wing back to link with, and you have a midfielder that comes in. So you get these lovely combinations, so you can actually play with the ball. And Lukaku can dribble, you can run. And what you'll often find, in fact, some of his best moves when he was at United, and we'll see this again with Chelsea, is that he likes playing off the shoulder of the last man because he's really quick. But unlike Timo Werner, who was caught offside constantly, what Lukaku's really good at is timing his run, and he does this sort of thing. So there's a few examples you'll get from Man United's, let's put someone else up front, Havertz. From his time at Man United, was that he'd often peel off the blind side of defenders, so he's clever with this. If the team has the ball, say with Hero Mount, what Lukaku will do often is wait for the team to drift towards this side of the pitch to try and block it down. So this team, the white team, are defending against this Chelsea attack. This is all hypothetical and made up. But Lukaku, rather than be stuck up here, will move out to this bit, so then defenders don't know where he is. This guy now has to face the play and his teammates, but not know where he is, looking over his shoulder all the time. And then as Lukaku can work out when the run's going to need to be made, you can suddenly make this sort of run in behind and get onto a pass. So if we start him here, he's going to look to make this sort of curved run, if I can do it. So never straight, doesn't run straight past the defender like this. It's always clever to drag them in and then in behind to get onto the end of the balls. Now, look, this is the kind of thing that Werner is supposed to be able to do, but Werner gets on the end of something and then misses, whereas Lukaku's clinical and finishes his chances. Always looking to run off the shoulder of someone, always finding a way to be on the blind side. That's one of his absolute best skills, is being able to arrive at the right time in front of a defender on the blind side to score. So Lukaku can play as part of a front two if you want. If Tuchel wants to do that, play Mount behind him. You could play alongside Werner, and then suddenly you've got Werner able to run into the channels on the left and Lukaku able to do it in the right. Except Lukaku will score the chances that he gets, and that will be good for Chelsea. It will be an amazing signing. His record throughout his career is phenomenal. He's one of the elite strikers in the world. It makes absolutely perfect sense and will make Chelsea a much, much better team this season.
For the next few days, you can get 50% off a subscription to The Athletic. See the link in the description.